In one of your earliest speeches, you mentioned the illusion of Chinese and Russian aggressions was created by the deep state and the military-industrial complex.
Let me just point out the illusion of Russian and Chinese aggression around the world. You'll hear this repeated many, many times that, any day, Russia is going to take over the entire world. China's taking over the world. They're doing all this stuff. If you look at the number of foreign bases between the U.S. and the U.K., we have about 900 overseas military bases where we have troops stationed in foreign countries. We've created this bizarre illusion because the deep state, the war industrial complex, must have enemies. You cannot manufacture weapons when you don't have enemies. And so we create this illusion that they're coming to get us. They're on our doorsteps. And the fact of the matter is that China is out to make a buck. They want money. The Belt and Road Initiative is very important, but they have a different paradigm. Our paradigm is we go into a country, we set up NGOs, we take over, the government by coup. If we can't, then we just bomb the place to smithereens half the time. And you compare that with the foreign policy of China, which is you go in, you work with whatever government is there. You're not judgmental, but you make hard business decisions. You make investments, and I think for people who are comparing the foreign aid paradigm of the U.S. and China, they're saying, my likelihood of surviving is much higher if I follow the Chinese paradigm.
So can you talk more on that? Because we've seen some Western governments and Western media are depicting China as this evil force that will soon take over the world. How do you see this narrative on China?
It is a strange thing. If you look at the military history of China in recent years, the conflicts they've had have been border conflicts, and the border conflicts, sometimes they've been sharp conflicts, but they've been limited. I think it was right after the United States left Vietnam. There was a very sharp border war over the exact boundaries between China and the very northern part of Vietnam, but it wasn't intended to acquire new territory. It was intended to maintain the territory that China had. A similar situation exists with India, where there have always been some tensions about the exact lines between China and India. But both countries have handled it with a great deal of maturity and good judgment. Even, the Chinese fought a war with Russia. Again, it was over the boundary line, and it was a sharp war. It was some years back, but it wasn't designed where the Chinese were trying to attack and seize some great area within Russia. It was to define the border. And so you compare that with nations that go to the other side of the globe and conduct wars there. It's a totally different situation. And so I think that these wars that are fought far from a nation's own borders they're not helpful to world peace. They're not helpful to world trade. And I think in the case of the United States, I think they're very counterproductive. They hurt the American people, and there are some very powerful mega billionaires who profit greatly from these things, but the people don't profit. So I think yes, there is certainly an illusion that is created by militarists who very much want to provoke a continuing state of tension, which I don't believe is necessary.